At 4:09 in the morning on the 19th of July, 2024, 8.5 million Windows computers crashed at the same time. Hospitals stopped admitting patients. Airlines grounded their entire fleets. Banks went dark. Television stations went off the air. Within 78 minutes, the largest information technology outage in human history was already in motion. The man who pressed publish on the file that caused it is named George Kurtz. He is the chief executive officer of a company called CrowdStrike. And 14 years before this happened, he had done the same thing at a different cybersecurity company that crashed millions of computers in almost exactly the same way. The cause this time was not a hacker. It was not a state-sponsored attack. It was a single missing input field. 20 fields where there should have been 21. 3 things you have not heard about this outage. The bug was a single mismatched count between 2 pieces of CrowdStrike's own code, a count of 21 and a count of 20. The reason recovery took months, despite a fix being uploaded inside 78 minutes, was that the bug crashed Windows so badly the fix could not be downloaded automatically. And the recovery process for some companies meant typing in a 48-character key into every single affected machine by hand. To understand how this happened, you need 3 things: the product, the mistake, and the man who built both companies. CrowdStrike sells a product called Falcon. It is a piece of software that runs on every individual computer inside an organization, watching everything the computer does, looking for malicious behavior, and stopping it in real time. To do this effectively, Falcon needs the deepest possible access to Windows. It runs in what is called the Windows kernel, the core layer of the operating system that talks directly to the computer's hardware. Software in the kernel can do almost anything. It can read any file. It can stop any process. It can crash the entire computer. CrowdStrike, like many of its competitors, lives in the Windows kernel on every machine it protects. To keep Falcon up to date with the latest threats, CrowdStrike pushes out small configuration updates called channel files, multiple times per day, automatically, to every machine running Falcon worldwide. There are hundreds of these files. Each one is numbered. The one that caused the outage on July 19th was channel file 291. It had been deployed safely many times before. The version released at 4:09 UTC on July 19th was different. George Kurtz did not write the bug himself, but he is the reason CrowdStrike exists, and he is the reason it operates at the scale it does. Kurtz started his cybersecurity career in the 1990s. In 1999, he founded a security firm called Foundstone. McAfee acquired it in 2004, and Kurtz became McAfee's chief technology officer. In April 2010, McAfee released Day-T Update 5958 to its antivirus customers. That update mistakenly identified a critical Windows file called svchost.exe as a virus and quarantined it. Computers around the world began entering boot loops. Hospitals lost network access. Police stations stopped processing reports. Universities had thousands of machines bricked simultaneously. The recovery, like the recovery in 2024, required physical intervention on every affected machine. The damage was estimated in the hundreds of millions of dollars. George Kurtz resigned from McAfee in October 2011. 4 months later, he co-founded CrowdStrike. The pitch was specific. Legacy antivirus software like McAfee was outdated. It pushed too many updates. It crashed too many systems. CrowdStrike would replace it with something better. 12 years later, on July 19, 2024, CrowdStrike's Falcon platform pushed an update to 8.5 million Windows computers. The update crashed every one of them. The damage was estimated in the billions. The man at the center of both events was the same. Here is what actually went wrong inside channel file 291. CrowdStrike's own root cause analysis, published on August 6, 2024, identifies the bug precisely. Falcon's sensor uses a system called an IPC template type to validate the contents of channel files before processing them. The IPC template type for channel file 291 was designed to expect 21 input fields. The actual sensor code that read the channel file only provided 20. 21 expected, 20 provided. The mismatch caused Falcon to attempt to read memory that did not exist. In Windows, when a kernel-level program tries to read memory that does not exist, the operating system has only one option. It crashes the entire machine. This is what users see as the blue screen of death. The bug should never have been deployed. CrowdStrike has a piece of software called the Content Validator that is supposed to catch exactly this kind of error before any channel file is released. The Content Validator contained a separate logic error that caused channel file 291 to pass validation despite the input mismatch. Channel file 291 was deployed at 4:09 UTC. Crashes began within seconds. Within 10 minutes, the volume of incoming reports inside CrowdStrike's offices had exceeded anything the company had ever seen. By 4:55 UTC, the bad file had been identified. At 5:27 UTC, a corrected version was uploaded to CrowdStrike's servers. The window during which the bad file was being distributed lasted 78 minutes. 78 minutes was enough. Computers running Falcon download channel file updates automatically and apply them immediately. Within those 78 minutes, 8.5 million Windows machines around the world had downloaded the bad file, applied it, and crashed. Once a machine had crashed into the blue screen of death, it could not boot. It could not connect to the internet. It could not download the corrected file. Every single one of those machines required manual recovery. The official process required booting into safe mode, which on most enterprise machines required entering a 48-character BitLocker recovery key. For organizations with thousands or tens of thousands of laptops scattered across geography, this was not an overnight job. It was a months-long job. The damage was real, immediate, and enormous. Delta Airlines canceled 7,000 flights in the days following the outage. The airline estimated its losses at $550 million and has since sued CrowdStrike for the same figure. CrowdStrike has countersued, blaming Delta's own IT response. In the United Kingdom, the National Health Service postponed surgeries at multiple hospitals after losing access to patient records. Pharmacies could not dispense prescriptions. The London Stock Exchange paused. Sky News went off the air for the first time in its broadcasting history. The total economic damage from the outage has been estimated at over $5.4 billion. Here is what this outage revealed. Every cybersecurity vendor that runs in the Windows kernel has the same theoretical capability to cause an outage of this scale. Microsoft has since announced changes intended to let security vendors do their jobs from outside the kernel. As of early 2026, the implementation is partial. George Kurtz issued a public apology on the day of the outage. He has remained CEO. CrowdStrike's stock dropped roughly 40% and has since partially recovered. The Delta lawsuit is still active. CrowdStrike has rewritten its validator software and now stages updates across smaller test groups before global deployment. The specific mismatch between expected and provided input fields cannot recur in its original form. The system that allowed it has not changed. Falcon still runs in the Windows kernel, so do its competitors. The next channel file that contains a similar logic error will produce a similar outcome. The man who founded CrowdStrike in 2012, specifically because of an outage at McAfee in 2010, is now 14 years deep into a career defined by two of the largest IT outages in history. He still runs the company. The technology architecture that made the outage possible is still in place, and the next 8.5 million Windows machines that get the wrong channel file will respond exactly the same way.